Good morning, friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day out there in your gardens. I can't believe it's April 15th and we haven't walked around the garden yet this year. Today it's going to be 90 degrees outside, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to walk around the different garden rooms and show you what's in bloom before I start harvesting lots of beautiful tulips and daffodils for the flower stand. So I think today I'll show you around the different gardens, and I'll also show you what the flower stand looks like after I set it up for the day. So let's start right here in the hydrangea room. I don't believe I added any new bulbs into the hydrangea room this year, but we do have bulbs returning from last year. Down here we have the delicate and dainty summer snowflake, and I just love adding these dangling blooms into different flower arrangements. I tried to group some pansies around my different shrubs in the hydrangea room. So I have these two lilacs that flank Hummingbird Way, and I decided to place some of these imperial peach pansies underneath. And I'm hoping that once these lilacs bloom, and they have a beautiful lilac purple color, that the purple and the peach will pair really nicely together. And I do have a few La Belle Epoque tulips in here, so I wanted to pick up the peach of La Belle Epoque with those pansies. Our crab apples are blooming. A lot of things are going to blow open today with this heat. Down here, returning from a previous year, we have white lion. Isn't that beautiful? A lovely 9-bark here. And what is this, guys? Anna's Magic Ball. I think that's what that one's called. Irish Luck Hellebore. Sweet Love Hellebore. Honey Hill Joy. And if you recall the other day we did the Astilbe Theater, I did pop all of those Astilbes out of the containers and I placed the majority of them here in the hydrangea room. So we'll have lots of nice purple plumes to enjoy in mid-June. Hopefully those will pair nicely with our hydrangeas. So as I say, I didn't plant any new bulbs in this garden, but we have some white tulips returning from last year. And I'll give you a sneak peek of the color palette that I used in the main flower walk this year. I chose 4 different tulips and I used them all throughout the main flower walk. We've got Hakoon, that's the white one. Negrita is the darker purple. Blue Boy is the light purple. And Flaming Flag is the purple and white tulip. And I just mixed all these together in my wheelbarrow and then planted them in groupings throughout the entire garden. I'm really happy with how it looks. I think next year, or you know what, not next year, but I think if I was going to do this color palette again, I would maybe add a peach or a deep purple. I just think it needs a punch of something else to elevate it. It's definitely calming, but you know I normally do really vibrant tulip displays, so it's interesting to enjoy more of a subdued and subtle color palette this year. Let me know what you think. I also did less tulips in the main flower walk this year and more tulips throughout the entire garden. So once we head over to the driveway garden, you'll see that I repeated these tulips in that garden as well. I decided what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to hold off on mulching until probably late May, because I have a feeling that at this point the garden is going to cover itself with plant material, and I would much rather that happen than have to be mulching every single year. Also this year I'm going back to doing tons of my own cut flowers in the landscape. I've already put a lot of cool flowers out in the garden. You can see Sweet William right here. Nicotiana I'm growing from seed back behind the fountain. We've got larkspur that we planted together popping up over here. So I need to give these seedlings some time to get established. I'm doing a lot of direct seeding. So for these reasons and more, I'm holding off on mulching this year. It looks like our Brennera has started to bloom. Oh, how I love those dainty blue blooms. Bleeding Heart is blooming also. Lots of holes to fill in with cut flowers still. This is a nice view, isn't it? Oh, wait till you see the Fritillaria persica. You are going to freak out. Now, before we head over there, I need to ask you guys a question. I am stumped on what to do with the book nook planting. Last year, I did white sun patience in between all of my hydrangeas, and it looked great, but I'm just not sure I want to do that again this year. I'm contemplating seeding blue nigella in between every single hydrangea. I'm not sure if that will look good. I'm not sure if I can time it out perfectly, but I'm thinking about giving it a try. Anyway, oops, I almost just fell over right there. Let me know what you think. What should we plant in between our incredible hydrangeas? So I've already started to harvest tulips from this bed. Almost all the daffodils have been harvested now. What I'm doing with the compost pile is I'm creating a sunflower and sweet pea trellis system. So by the time we hit June, you won't see the compost pile at all, but it'll still be there. I actually have 3 compost piles going at the moment. Behind this tree, I have a larger stick pile. Back here is where I just put leaves and grass, so that's a very fast composting system. And over here is where I put more of my perennial and shrub clippings. So we've got Labella Pock tulips. Oh my, aren't they amazing? We've got some of these at the stand right now. By today's end, all of these tulips will be gone. I'm either sitting inside my home cooling down or in their forever homes, courtesy of the flower stand. This tulip really exceeded my expectation. It's called Negrita Parrot. In my experience thus far, parrots are usually a little bit late, but this tulip bloomed early in comparison to other parrots that I've grown. This one is selling really well at the flower stand. That was surprising to me because, as you can see, the stems have a lot of movement to them naturally, and I didn't know if people were going to like that, but so far, so good. Here's a look from back here. You can see the Coosa dogwood is starting to leaf out. The apple tree is in bloom. We can take a closer look at the cherries and the apples and the pears. Let's see if I can walk backwards here. Just starting to open up is Curly Sue. I'll have to look at the tag on what that one is. I think it's a, no wait, you know what? That one's not Curly Sue, that's Queensland. This is Curly Sue. And this one I've grown before and I loved it. I thought, yes, I have to grow this one again. This is Silver Parrot. We need to pick all of these today. So the way I've been picking from these beds is I pick the back first and then I work my way towards the front. That way, if my family is out here sitting in the garden, at least they see some flowers in the front of the bed. And this bed right here is interplanted with hyacinths, daffodils, and lilies. So that allows me to let the daffodil foliage die back naturally, not have to really touch it. By the time the lilies really get going, then I can cut that daffodil foliage back. So we've got Delnishaw right here, selling really well at the stand. I have never tried to sell this one before. This is Bella Estrella, or is it Bella Estrella? 2 L's there. This daffodil has the most amazing fragrance. I would say it smells similar to a gardenia. A little hint of lily of the valley fragrance. This is definitely one you want to place near an entrance point to the garden because that fragrance is just phenomenal. Let's work our way up towards lingerie. I've already cut and sold all the daffodils that were in this bed, and I've got cool flowers going here now. You can see I haven't mulched, I haven't weeded back here. I'm still focusing on just getting everything into the garden at this point. We've got gladiolas, snapdragons, Cerinthe major, and then friends. Oh my gosh, the Fritillaria persica. I just can't with how gorgeous this looks. I don't know how long these stay in bloom for. I hope they stay in bloom long enough to pair with the alliums that I have in this bed. I also have copper image tulips in this bed. This is our new rose garden back here. But oh my, look at this. Let me see if I can step back here without falling over. You know how many times I normally fall over when making these videos? So we've got a pear right here, an apple there, an apple across from it, 2 tart cherries right here. I just can't wait for this garden to bloom, and I can't wait to sit back here and have dinner. It's going to be fantastic. Lots of older bulbs in Grace's garden. These bulbs are on the expensive side, but they are worth it. Oh my, are they worth it? And guess what? We got down to 28 degrees one night, and I forgot to cover these, and they completely fell over. I mean, you can even see some of the stems are a little curved still, but they were completely schlumped over. I was immediately devastated, and for the most part, their stems did straighten out. Really fantastic. You can see the same thing in this bed. I'm cutting the back of the bed and working my way forward. We have lilies in the back of this bed, and then I did plant out my Dara in the front half of this bed. So we've got some remaining lingerie daffodils here. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Also in the Bella Estrella bed, we have lilies, and then in the front of that bed, I have a pink nigella. In the Hydrangea annex, we have the remaining lingerie daffodils. I think those are pretty much going over at the moment. What else do we have in here? We've got some fern leaf bleeding heart looking pretty good. You can see some of my old-fashioned bleeding heart got hit. What can you do? I'll have to cut that back a while. It's early morning here, and so a lot of people are heading off to work. So sorry if you can hear a lot of car noise in the background. I think this one is Beautiful Eyes. Do you guys remember? Is that what it is from last year? I don't think I put in any new daffodils in this area. Here's what that new rose garden looks like from the other side. You know, I need to weed, but you know what's really funny? With everything going on this year, you would think I would be chomping at the bit to do things like weed and mulch and get things in order, but I'm just kind of enjoying the garden this year, and I'm really enjoying the flower stand. I'm pretty much open every single day when it's not raining or storming. So let's walk backwards a while. And I think we've seen Oh wait, let me show you the blossoms. We've got the Macintosh apple tree in bloom right now. Isn't that beautiful? Cherry trees, well, their blooms are already turning a little bit brown and mushy. And this is our summer Rambo apple tree right here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to capture this on camera, but I also put Cerinthe major around the exterior of the hydrangea room because I thought it would be nice to see those dangling blooms along the edge of the hydrangea room. And then I had so many left over because Cerinthe major often comes out as twins. So you'll put one seed in a cell and you'll get two plants. So I wanted to try Cerinthe major here in shade and see what happens. So here's what it looks like from inside the hydrangea room, looking underneath the cryptomeria into the fountain. I can hear the school bus has arrived. So I think it's probably safe to head over to the driveway garden and show you that area and also show you what the flower stand looks like so far before I add to it for the morning. Now that these tulips have bloomed, I'm realizing that on this side of the garden, I put the tulips in the middle of the bed. And for whatever reason, on this side, I put them on the edge. I don't remember doing that. I wanted to tuck all the tulips back into the garden some, but I don't know. You know, sometimes when it comes to tulip planting time, you're a little bit exhausted from the season, right? Maybe that's what happened. Some beautiful hellebores here underneath the serviceberry tree. Some of you were asking me what the foliage was in the daffodil arrangement that I made last week, and that's a gold splash euonymus. I did a lot of direct seeding here in the driveway garden, so once again, it's not mulched. It looks a little bit rough if you look closely, but it's going to fill in nicely with a lot of saponaria and orolea. I mass seeded that here in the driveway garden. So I think on Sunday, when it's a little bit quieter, we'll take a closer look at all the daffodils that I have over here. But I'm just repeating things that we've already seen before. We've got the Bella Estrella daffodils. We've got that mix of Negrita, Blue Boy, Flaming Flag, and Hacoon tulips here surrounding our flower lady. And you can see we do live on a busy street, which sometimes can prove challenging when filming a video, but is quite useful in terms of the flower stand because we do get a lot of traffic here. So there's the flower stand right there. Did we sell anything yet? I don't think so. I think I see everything that I put out really early this morning. And then we did lose a branch of our apple tree that's right next to our driveway. It was actually hit by a mulch truck 2 years ago, and that limb finally decided to say goodbye. So my husband took care of that the other day. But this tree is also in bloom. The daffodil meadow is in bloom at the moment. I planted out some straw flower where the flower stand used to be. Aren't those lovely? Let's just head right over to the stand right now. This is definitely a true to life video as you're hearing all the natural sounds today. So we've got Lingerie, Delna Shaw, Negrita Parrot, La Belle Epoque, Shearborn. Princess Irene came back from last year, so I pulled those out and I'm going to try to sell those today. We also have some Sun Patience available right here. And yeah, that's how the flower stand is looking this morning. And as things sell, then I'll just replenish it for the day. Let me show you some behind the scenes here of where I store all the things that I use on a daily basis. let's not consider this the April garden tour. Let's just consider this a walk and talk. But a lot of people ask me about the rain barrel and also the pump I have. So I have this rain barrel. I got it on Amazon. I feel like pretty much all rain barrels are created the same, so I don't even think I'm going to bother to link this one. I would just buy whatever one is the cheapest. Then we have a small hose right here that goes underneath our wood pile and connects to the hose link hose reel that's back there. And even though it looks nice, you know, the hose link, I don't want any plastic in my garden, so I've hidden it back there. And then these hoses go into the garage where I have a pump, and that's where the pump is plugged in. And I only turn the pump on when I'm using it. Otherwise it gets really hot, so be careful with that. All right, friends. Oop, there it is. I almost fell over again. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I need to grab some buckets and harvest all of those labella pock tulips, huh? Yeah, that needs to happen. I want to wish you a wonderful day out there in your gardens, and I'll see you sometime real soon. Bye, friends.